Katerina Vedenieva of Slovenia. It was a great day for Zora Agamirova of Azerbaijan. And for the host nation, Israel, with Daria Atamanov and Adi Katz. And Yelizaveta Polsjanaya of Latvia. That's your top five at the moment.
Here on the competition floor.
We have then one more session left. Set D, rotation 1, the last phase of the first half of senior qualification today. And look at the names that you're about to see. This is full of big, big players. But one thing is clear, as we look at the names here, we also look back at what's gone before. Pressure has been applied by those performers in the first three groups. They've done their work, now it's over to the rest. And look who we finish with. Almost by design, but yet entirely by accident, she gets her own page. Boriana Kalane, the silver medalist from last time, at home in Varna, a sensational silver. Now undoubtedly one of the favourites. But many, many challenges.
Luigi, I have to interrupt you. We'll start the competition again.
It is time to resume.
Ladies and gentlemen, time.
Those of you who are joining now for the first time, well, you've picked a blockbuster stage of the competition to join at, but you've missed some very strong gymnastics before. Those of you who've watched throughout the day will know exactly what I mean. But all of that is harvest. It's now time to begin the next stage of the competition. Here we go, it's set D, rotation 1, the final group of today. And what a way to start. The superb gymnast from Italy, Milena Baldassari. World Championship medalist, 6th place at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. That is a most engrossing way to begin our final group of gymnasts. Milena Baldassari of Italy.
Baldassari, she was the first ever Italian gymnast to win an individual medal at the World Championships. Silver with ribbon at the Worlds in Sofia in 2018.
She has found this rich vein of form in and around the Olympic Games and in the time afterwards.
Milena Baldassari. 20 years old.
Splendid gymnast. Had one moment, didn't she, releasing the apparatus where the trajectory was very off. Looked as though it might be about to head out of bounds, but mercifully a quick and confident save from the experienced gymnast from Ravenna. From Cyprus, Anna Sokolova. Second European Championships for her after her World Championship debut in Kitakyushu last year.
I don't know just how it happened. I let down my guard. Swear I'd never fall in love again, but I fell hard. Guess I should have seen it coming. Caught me by surprise. Wasn't looking where I was going. I fell into your eyes. You came into my crazy world like a cool and cleansing rain. Before I knew what hit me, baby, you were flowing through my veins. I'm addicted to you. Don't you love that powerful drug? Can't get enough of. Lost in your eyes, drowning in blue. What can I do? I'm addicted to you. Oh, don't you love like a powerful drug? Can't get enough. What can I do? I'm addicted to you.
Cyprus has a very good record in
20 years
rhythmic
old.
gymnastics at the Commonwealth Games.
Sokolova. This is
Certainly
her
they'll be hopeful of
first
more podium
major
success
international event,
in Birmingham
first European
in
Championships.
August.
Cyprus, Anna Sokolova. Score for Milena Baldassari, 31.150, the fifth best hoop routine so far.
31.15 for Milena Baldassari with the hoop, the fifth strongest score that we've seen. So that puts Baldassari just ahead of Zora Agamirova and Hanna Panavisner just behind Melanie Keller. To a gymnast who turns 18 on the final day of competition, Sofia Raffaelli of Italy. A superb gymnast on the rise.
Vai bambino, vai vedrai, vai vedrai che un sorriso nasconde spesso un gran dolore, vai vedrai follia, dallo senza più, follia. Per guarire senza paura, follia, dal bambino pieno di vita, che cercando il paradiso, nel sonetto ucciso mio, vai solo vai vedrai che un sorriso nasconde spesso un gran dolore, vai vedrai vedrai che un sorriso nasconde spesso un gran dolore, vai vedrai
Sofia Raffaelli of Italy, she's one of those gymnasts for whom body difficulty and choreography seem to blend into one. Isn't that a nice line established in the penché turn?
With this apparatus, with her hoop. She has done
Secure
2
toe
European
point,
Championships before,
establishes
but she's never
releve
won
effectively.
Score score for Anna
A
Sokolova.
walkover
27
is in control.
50.
Anna Sokolova scores 27.45 with the ball, 22nd best score we've seen.
Hoop routine, which means that we have to wait a little bit.
Much to ponder ahead of the next routine for the 18-year-old from Cyprus. And it allows us the luxury of looking back at the work of Sofia Raffaelli, who's been achieving an awful lot on the World Cup circuit this year. The first ever Italian all-around gold medalist in World Cup competition. That was in Athens. And she's gone on to do the same in Baku and in Pesaro.
Sofia Raffaelli. We wait for her score.
Well, this really was a quite superb performance.
150 for
How big is the number going to be? Oh, yes, it's a huge one. 36.15, the score for Sofia Raffaelli. That is quite comfortably the strongest number that we've seen today. Raffaelli, by 2.5 marks or so, goes to the top of the leaderboard with the hoop. Melania Tur of Ukraine, 7 times a national champion at junior and senior level.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't mean nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl. Oh. The world would be nothing without a woman. Oh yeah, this is a man's world. Oh, it's a man's world, but it don't mean nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl. Oh no.
So many people have been so excited to see Melania Tur's transition to the senior ranks, and there's much in her gymnastics that justifies that excitement. She has very good form in her penché pivots. Real flexibility shown in that pass of the apparatus across the body.
And now Croatia.
This moment she recovered choreographically. I believe the popular parlance there is she styled it out. Confirmation of the 36.15 for Raffaelli. Worth seeing that number twice, isn't it? From Osijek in Croatia, Barbara Shelendic. Her senior international debut was the European Championships in Varna last year. Oh, what a save at the end. Yes, she will be disappointed with the cost to the routine and to the lack of harmony with the music at the end, but that was a very well rescued piece of work by Barbara Szelendic of Croatia. She competed in Sofia in the World Cup for the first time this year, made top 40 in everything. Yeah, good save. Quick thinking. Did the best she could with it, but certainly some cost. .88.85. Melania Tur with the hoop. It's been a very good year in World Cups for Victoria Onoprienko, despite a late appearance for obvious reasons, but she won her first ever gold medal in Pesaro.
But now I'll rise above you.
Gymnast who made two finals at the European Championships in 2021, or I should say two apparatus finals. She also was in the all-around competition where she was just outside the top 10, was 8th with the hoops, 7th with clubs.
Ukrainian routine here on the field of play.
Did have one moment where there was an evident loss of stability.
3.2 for her ball exercise. And here is Croatia again, Lana Sombol.
23.2 for Barbara Szelendic of Croatia. From Croatia, Lana Sambol, the 18-year-old from Zagreb. Fourth time at the European Championships.
Did you really think I'd just forgive and forget? No, you're too tired and cheap, why you wanna be. You're a
Croatia's Lana Sambol.
Lana Sambol, she was born in Zagreb.
Everybody really took notice of her a few years ago when she won the Croatian Rhythmic Gymnastics League with a 10-point margin, and they realised the extent to which they had a real international competitor on their hands.
33.850 with hoop.
Now this is a very strong number from Onoprienka, 33.85. Her difficulty, 16.9, is the second highest difficulty that we've seen so far. Only Sofia Raffaele's enormous 18.6 surpasses it. From Germany, Margarita Kolosov, gymnast who won the hoop title in Pamplona at the World Cup. Can she really start to put everything together to be a compelling all-rounder? This is going to be an interesting championships. Oh, that's a start. Very interesting from Margarita Kolosov of Germany. She's a most watchable performer. She's idiosyncratic, she's memorable, she's powerful as well. Big penché turns, very straight raised leg. And there was enormous amplitude in her releases too. Now Lana Sambol scores 25.8 with the ball.
And now Spain on the floor. Here is Alba Bautista.
To the gymnast from Spain, Alba Bautista, 19-year-old from Utrias in Aragon in the northeast of Spain, a small town of 3,000. She made her first ever World Cup final in Pamplona as the first reserve for the ribbon competition. she's such a popular gymnast, Alba Bautista, from a rhythmic gymnastics mad country. They adore the sport in Spain.
And we have the
Very
score
knowledgeable
for
fans as well, the Spanish rhythmic gymnastics community.
32.350, למתעמלת מגרמניה. And the next gymnast is coming also from...
Very promising, 32.35 for Margarita Kolosov, 5th best we've seen with the hoop so far. So we're going to have clarification on apparatus qualifiers soon. To Daria Varfolomeev of Germany. 15-year-old has had a splendid year, winning World Cup titles. Little loss of the apparatus towards the end. It won't be enormously costly, and there will be some very compelling difficulty in that performance by Daria Varfolomeev. Goodness, does she attack those leaps? Really gets height. One of the most pleasing things aesthetically about her routines is actually the hoop in flight. It's so straight, very little oscillation. 30.85 from Alba Bautista. That's a very good score. She's in 7th place. Excellent from the Spanish gymnast. Now to her teammate. From Spain, Polina Bergina. 24-year-old at her 5th European Championship. She's had 3 top 20 all-around finishes. 15th last year, the strongest. She's most interested in cinematography, Polina Bergina. She is a graduate of audiovisual communication from the Catholic University of Murcia. wants to be a film director. She's spoken about her inability to watch any piece of film or television without overanalyzing it, which I'm sure many of you can empathise with. I certainly, as a former teacher of theatre, know what she means, and she does that with her own gymnastics as well. Very strongly breaks down her work. 31.4 for Daria Varfolomeev. May have her in a tricky position in terms of the hoop final. She's the 7th strongest in qualification so far. Anna Kutsishvili of Georgia, the 16-year-old, actually born in Strasbourg, 5 times a French junior national champion.
Anna
Kutsishvili of Georgia, senior European Championship debut. Time for her to grow into the competition as it goes on.
From Spain, 29.
Very nicely executed pivot there, though. Promising. 29.85
So the coach of
for Polina Berezina.
from Georgia, and if you're not mistaken, it was Salome Pashava with her. Salome, welcome to Tel Aviv.
We're hearing confirmation that Salome Pashava is in the building. She's very involved in the coaching setup in Georgia now and in the administration of the sport. I'm sure for many of you, one of your absolute favourites from days gone by.
The next gymnast from Turkey, Camelia Tunkel.
Representing Turkey, Camelia Tunkel, 20-year-old, just recently 20. She's the reigning national champion from March. Was 17th in the all-around in Kyiv in 2020, her best yet. who's been competing for quite a while now at senior level.
Thank you.
Camelia Tungel was 9th in the all-around competition at the Mediterranean Games in Tarragona in 2018, but
And the score
some losses
for,
of the apparatus will eat away at the execution.
Shvili from Georgia, it's 28.150, 28.150 למתעמלת
28.15 for Anna Kutsishvili. It's a perfectly credible start to her career as a European Championship competitor at senior level. Five more performances to go before we hit the top of the order again. From Georgia, Ketevan Arbolishvili, the 18-year-old from Tbilisi, is the reigning all-around national champion.
I think it's time to blow this thing, get it really started to blow up. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
She's a gymnast who's been in good form ever since winning a competition in Zagreb called the Aura Cup back in October. That's translated to really good domestic form, and it's nice to see a confident gymnast come out to the European Championship stage.
Camelia from Turkey, 26.20, 26.2 למתעמלת הטורקיה.
26.2 with the ball for Camelia Tungel.
Is coming from San Marino. She's also will perform the routine with the whoop.
We await the last three performances in this first rotation for set D.
Tamagnini Natilda from San Marino. תנו לה מחיאות כפיים.
Here we go. Matilde Tamagnini from San Marino. 16-year-old from Borgo Maggiore, one of the 9 communes of San Marino at the foot of Monte Titano, the most important market town in the country. Well, now she's at the big market that is the European Championships. The Samarinese
Thank you,
gymnast
Matilde.
Matilde Tamagnini. She had a terrific European Championships in Varna last year, setting a
Let's
personal
see what
best.
was the score
Really
for the
proved
previous routine.
that she can deliver at the highest level.
Here it is.
Lovely if a similar thing can happen this time for her.
30.00 for Ketevan from Georgia. 30 נקודות למתעמלת מגיאורגיה.
30,
And the next
the score
gymnast,
for
ladies and
Ketevan
gentlemen, המתעמלת
Arbolishvili
הבאה, גבירותיי ורבותיי,
of Georgia.
is coming from
Top
Bulgaria.
15 with the hoop at the
Let's
moment.
welcome Stiliana
We've got two
Nikolova.
big performers to come now. Here we go. First indication of what Bulgaria has brought to these championships. Hugely popular is Stiliana Nikolova of Bulgaria, and she has really produced some excellent performances at World Cup level this season.
With a dazzling girl, unaware of the light, she'd imprisoned inside, took a million mistakes to lead her to daybreak, but she made it through. Now I know the truth, beauty never lies, never hides, never gives up. Beauty never lies, glory dies, here I am. Finally I can say, yes, I'm different and it's okay. Here I am, here I
It appears that Stiliana Nikolova is in the building with a very imposing first performance. The 16-year-old, born in Cairo.
Matilde from San Marino, 24
She's
points.
such a strong gymnast.
9-5-0.
Very good pirouettes. She flourishes out of them as well. Yes, that is going to do, one suspects, quite well. 24.95 for Matilde Tamagnini.
עד שהמתעמלת הבאה שמסיימת בעצם את הסיבוב הזה תעלה.
We have just one performer to go before we return to the top of the order. I'll look back at some of the performances from earlier.
And the next gymnast, ladies and gentlemen, is coming also from Bulgaria. Let's welcome with a big round of applause. We will wait for the score first. The
Crowd got very excited. They thought they were about to see Boriana Kalin take to the competition floor, but we've got to get the number in for her teammate Stiliana Nikolova first.
עוד מספר שניות אנחנו נהיה עם הציון ונוכל להמשיך הלאה עם המתעמלת הבאה שבעצם סוגרת לנו את סבב התרגילים הזה.
We remind ourselves of the performance of Stiliana Nikolova. Powerful, well-executed catch. Never looked like she was in any doubt.
מיד
Unsighted
יופיע
catch.
הציון. הנה הוא.
Judges the trajectory very well.
33.70 for
Yes, there we go. 33.7
And now
for
the next
Stiliana
gymnast,
Nikolova, the strongest that
Again
we've
for
seen
Bulgaria.
with the ball so far.
Karina Boriana.
She goes ahead of Katerina Vedenieva by almost a mark and a half. We finish this rotation with Boriana Kalin the all-around silver medalist from last year's European Championships, the 21-year-old gymnast who had a small injury lately. Let's hope all is well.
Couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You're so very special. Yeah, I wish I was special. But I'm a creep. I'm what the hell am I doing
On the whole, that's a very impressive first display from Bodiana Kalin of Bulgaria, with just the odd moment here and there, but her characteristically whipped fouette turns really living up to the English translation of the French term. Her core balletic skills always impressive. Very confident unsighted trap
2 minutes
of the
for the
apparatus.
next round. We will be waiting for the score. In the meanwhile, you can watch.
It's a very difficult routine, but alongside that difficulty is her characteristic sense of artistry, the ability to perform, to convince you that this is not simply an assortment of tricks. It is not a magic show, it is a piece of performance art. Should be a very positive number from Bodiana Kalin. It would surely be good enough to go into the lead. Such a good axis established in her attitude derrière pivot.
Bodiana Kalin, all-around finalist and 4 apparatus finals at the Worlds in Kitak Yushu last year.
Well, we'll get the score in a moment for Bodiana Kalin, but this is what's coming up in the next stage of the competition. Going to go back around and see all of these gymnasts a further time. And that will close out our coverage here today. That is a superb number, 34.65 for Bodiana Kalin, and one might suggest there's room even for that to grow. But the 8.9 score for artistry, most telling. Well, we will resume our coverage in a matter of a minute or two as we go back to the top of the order here in Tel Aviv.
בערך עוד כדקה אנחנו מתחילים את הסבב תרגילים הבא, וכפי שאתם רואים הרמה גבוהה מאוד, יש כאן תרגילים עם ציונים באמת top of the top. Imagine the impossible, ladies and gentlemen. Always imagine the impossible, then you can reach the skies. תמיד תמיד רבותיי תאמינו גם במה שנראה בלתי אפשרי, ואנחנו מוכנים עם המתעמלת הראשונה מהסבב הבא. Ladies and gentlemen, from Italy, Milena Baldassari.